I'm just in the lobby now. I'm out at the cafe, letting them close up. Uh, right here, doing things. I ate everything except I got this left. It was so good. Everything from the cafe highly recommend it. Okay. This one? That's so fucking good. So good. Mm. Mm. So Andy and I got through the very first part of his handbook, just the beginning, and it's crazy. It's so good. It's on another level. As I just took a bite of that, I just realized something also. Though. See, I showed everybody I had to do a divine pull earlier. Um, and I'm gonna pull this out right now because I tried to be I tried to be as honorable and respectful as I could in doing it. And that's why I didn't even show you the method I used for that pack because that I don't touch that deck unless I know something is very serious. And I'm in the process. I was recording a video all day while I sat there also waiting. And I didn't do it live because I had a feeling it'd go on for a while, and it did. I'm glad it didn't because it's safe and it's saved. I'm uploading it to YouTube and I'll post it now, and you'll see it's when I'm eating breakfast. Before I even ordered any of that stuff. And I also ordered all that food so I could know and save the table at lunch while I went to secure um, the room in hopes that my potential patient and client comes through because I'm telling you the results they're just beyond what you can imagine. They really, really are, and I'm so excited about it. And I had to do something just to be safe because I realized as I was letting like the nature of the situation unfold and making the video that I'm working on uploading, and I'll put a link to and everything on Instagram as well. But there is a couple of serious aspects to all of this, and and a little more serious than the ancestors until today allowed me to be aware of, and that there's reasons for it, and I totally understand the whole picture now, but here we are, and everything's good, and I'm really happy, and anything bad that might have happened, it'll be okay, I'll tell you that right now. I'm absolutely 110% sure of it, and everything's really good. And the nature of just me saving this for last and knowing, kind of put it full circle together, almond croissant, right? Something in the initials. Now, I'm not sure exactly, however, we can fix it if we work together. That much I do know. Because this is where we get our heritage back. That's what I also learned in securing the office space, because that's where I was able to. I tried to go to the Quest first. Obviously not next door. And I hope that says a lot, and we all know why. Because that would have been the hard way to do it, but they told me they were full, so that's cool. The heritage got us, and I got that secure. So but this is the kind of thing where like I could do this kind of thing for like every client, and I'm willing to, and I'm willing to take this much time and effort, you know, for every single one person, spend the whole day, give back, that kind of thing. That's the point. That's the demonstration. And do so in a way where even if we don't have time to communicate directly, we're doing the right things happen. And that's a product of my divine intervention, but it's also a product of homage to ancestry and this being destined in and of nature. And so there's a force that takes us. And it's all part of it. And so because the thing is, I am, by my country and by my law, I have to do the things, the disclaimers in the morning, so I put forth. But beyond that, so long as we all hold up our end of the bargain, then it becomes fun. And the great part is once you see our direct connection, and we're able to do that face to face, it becomes clear the authenticity of what I have and what I have to share, and why, who, what, when, and where has been trying to set us up against each other. And we have all the power. And me, with the smallest amount of resources and backing, and being put as a monkey in the middle, I'm winning. So that should say a few things, and I'll explain that much deeper, because I'm just busting this out, as a freestyle. And it's easy and simple. And I can do that because, well, that's how the truth works. And that's a product of the foundational facts of political science, not just martial arts or anything like that. And that's what that is, and they're both one and the same, but at the same time, you add a divine product of the Most High, and well, then you get to see some real life. L'chaim. That's the thing. I'm here to fix, can and will. And, well, I think the facts of what matters and what doesn't is clear to us both, and I don't need to speak on that other than the fact of the situation I'm being put in is what's being used to make me look like I'm something I'm not. And my concern isn't that so much, is that someone else is using it to look like they are. And that's the danger of it. And so, to that effect, I put forth some information as to the real truth behind who I am and love in my life and truth to that effect. And everything I say about Randy, and that is also that. And, you know, there are no lies there. Naturally. Just like that. And both him and I and him, have unnecessarily suffered a lot. And, you know, this is his, especially under the right circumstance as well. But, you know, him, a bunch, like, everybody else needs me. So, like, this guy, they're always here. And that's okay. If you like that and want that. That's that actually makes Randy and I both agree we like that too, and that makes our life easy, and it makes it easy for me to be Randy all the time. For real though. So, that's all good. That's the point. What's not all good though, like at least for me and us in my life, we have no problems. We're happy, and we're getting happier and happier. It's just you're missing out huge by not hanging out with this kid. And I think we know where I'm going at, what I'm getting at here, because yesterday somebody finally treated me with love and respect like a real family member. And I take that very seriously, like we all do. And so, the most honorary and respectful thing someone like me can do is be honest with you and show you in the most peaceful manner possible what it is when we're on the same team that I have to offer. It's true. And everybody who, goes back and forth, tries to treat me monkey in the middle, they eventually pay for that. And they, no matter how much they try to make it look like it was my fault, they just don't know. Like, you guys don't even know how to read at a certain point. You don't know how to read until you get this information from Justin in like this divine process. Like you may think you do, but you don't. That's what's crazy. I mean, y'all know who I am. And Justin doesn't know shit, but he schooled the fuck out of me with this shit. And he does, but he does he pure justice. My best friend. For real though. So it may seem like a lot, but it's like nothing and everything all at once. It's next level. It's the only way. And like I'm Justin, right? I agree. It's it's still it's nuts. Even the nature of the office I secured, I think will speak to that effect if the right person shows up. If not, it's cool. Like, it's all good. I get a day where I get to treat myself to a bunch of good shit. I'm down. But don't expect me to do this for another client again. This is like, a one-time thing. I'm not going to do this for everybody that, I had the means to show up in such a way. And what's great is, so I did this other divine read for myself, so I would know and be sure what's coming, and like get a bunch of stuff straight, right? So I can move forward, so I can move Reiki, so I can move north, so I can, spiral upwards, and you can see that I'm not, and who is the fluttering bird. And so it's cool, it's all good, I'm so happy. I don't care if I ever go shredding again, also. Like, I'm willing to be as patient as I need to. But I'm not going to risk the dignity of my practice and my ability to share it with others by, being forced into a situation where I look like I'm broke, schizophrenic, and homeless. That's fucking bullshit. I could do whatever I want. Like, I make the law. Like, consciously get to. The more people consciously try to impose that on me without, especially in a passive manner. And especially with people who are supposed to be my friends that I grew up with on a phone call. They cross over from racial barriers. They cover, family members, tribal members, and like women who were my first nannies and raised me in Harlem. You don't fuck with me like that. That is a promise. So, this will be good. This will be great. I'm having the best life, but please, and thank you as well. See what I'm saying? I'll show you more. But what I did today was went over the ancestors in a way that is only possible if I was authentic, and I did it in the most difficult, orthodox manner possible. And I didn't show the card or how I did it either. And I did it from, I made it apparent, the deck that I used, as a sign of like, look, what I can do, and then still say what I'm saying. Do you know what I am saying? I hope so. Because I do, and I know I'm not playing. So, I learned something, and I taught all the ancestors something as well today too. And it's really just the product of nature of the process that I took a risk with my life to go through. And I showed some evidence to that, but I didn't show the answer I got, I basically just showed how big of balls I have. That's what I do. Because that's honorable and honest and safe for someone like me. Especially after spending the time to show you that I'm not afraid, and it's like more honorable for me to like put the warning and the stuff out there, and it became very clear today how certain transgressions were done to a certain girl, an innocent one, by the way. And why that's so important, and why someone who's not part of that, and that whole chain, who I never mentioned before, who only could be associated to like me or Randy through what I'm doing now, by maybe like this sign or something I've recently said, or like if prior to that in a more what appeared to be like joking, convoluted manner that actually now hopefully can be maybe taken more serious, and showed it's an effect of my security measures to throw people off as I naturally go through the process that's needed and figure out exactly what happened. And that's what happened today. I know exactly what was done, how they did it, who they did it to, who suffered. Because the thing is, they tried to do it in a way where they compartmentalized enough different pieces and answers so that what I did would be what I did today would be impossible to figure out ever, or to show anyone else. And I simply broke that barrier. So it's only a matter of time now. It's simple. And I'm chilling and I'm happy. And I've got plenty to do also. And the more that I do what I have to, well, let me just say, my magic is very real and very, very, very powerful. So, here's how this goes now. I'll just make a little wish. I wish for justice to win, win, win. And for that to happen, for him and the right family and friends. And for it to happen now in a manner that's quick and serves and does its name the definition of what its name is, and proves that he's Lord. Simple. I also know that wish will come true now. And I could wish for anything I want. Honor. So, I think we know what comes along with that, and I'm not gonna worry about anything I do next. I'm just gonna hope for the best, you know. And what I have to offer is dope. And if the person who I talk to wants to do the work right here, we can. But yesterday, as soon as he left, I was approached in the library by the staff, and they were like, I've been here for days, and all of a sudden they're telling me I can't exactly do things in the same way. But there's a lot I can do. I can sit here every day. I can't advertise in the library, right? Watch this though. I can just do this and sit inside for as long as I need and want. And then I'm advertising doing that out there. And if someone has money for me and pays me ahead of time, we can go get whatever private space we need to and want. And that's their worst nightmare because, well, we're trying to figure out what I'm doing so they could just steal and take it for themselves. And the thing is, anybody can try that, but that's why I had to say what I said today. Because like I want people to know where the back end effect of that, like comes from, so that they're not just like, think that they're defending themselves from a military, and a lawsuit. Because there's way more crazy shit than that. And I'm like, please, you guys, like, you don't know how serious that is. And like, what I did today, how do I describe this? So there's one of the ultimate forms that is primarily responsible for creating millions of others, and that one is individual in that manner. And then there's also one that's very powerful and has a very powerful wife and a lover, but has another family member that causes trouble. I got all of them to drop the shit and work together, along with the shit that I talked about. And they're all sitting here like, and I'm like, and it's like, well, because I cleared up everything. I healed and saved them from all of their own traumas. I showed them something that nobody or anything had ever shown them before. And I worked hard to do it, and it did take some effort, but at the same time, compared to others who have tried, I, made it almost look effortless in comparison. So, I'm at peace and harmony. Pink Lotus jasmine flowers, like, they're chanting all kinds of crazy shit. And I'm just feeling that from base. I don't hear voices in my head. I just, like, and it just feels good. And all kinds of stuff like that. Fern Gully, nigga, and it won't stop. So, I'm just waiting for others and someone who's intelligent to take a chance and like I can provide the service that I have like almost anywhere, and it'll speak to that effect. And like the same special offer stands. First 7 people come in for the service get free products in life. Just get free products and services from me for a lifetime. And like, dude, I did like one spray of my holy water on me yesterday. Like I use my products and services on me. And like, you people who are living think you're skeptical. Try convincing ancestors who have, you know, been watching everything going on for thousands of years and do nothing but that, and have time to just, you know, converse with each other and try to put it all together. I'm chilling. I'm happy. But what I'm saying is like, you know, and I have no problems. And I can do what I'm doing. And I can sit here in the same place, but from now on, I'm going to be on the ground floor because, you know, I accidentally made too much progress yesterday, and that, you know, that that freaked that freaked like whoever out, and it's like, cool. Once again, like, I'm, you know, winning when there's no, from a scientific standpoint, there's no mathematical reasoning why that should be happening whatsoever at all. So, I just gain more confidence as I'm being put in situations that should force me to lose it according to what people think they know. Using every method, scientific or other, they can, in a book that they can think of or throw at me or whatever. And it's cool. And tonight I get to spoil myself again, at the very least. So that's good. In the process of doing so, I tried to pay more homage to and honor to someone else to allow them to feel comfortable and put myself in the most difficult position possible, because I knew I would yield a successful result, and that would just authenticate me more. And I was denied that opportunity, and then what happened? Immediately, it was returned tenfold. My heritage has been restored completely. You don't even know how happy and how good I feel. And that also goes for Randy and everybody, and, you know, and him. And at this point, we're on a mission to give that to as many as we can. And we know that whoever receives it deserves it. And they'll do that simply by talking to us face to face and, you know, showing honor and trust. And like, I'm willing, you know what I mean, to do anything. Like, there's no traps that I'm setting here. The only trap is like, I told you. It's like, look, I wrote it. I told you. I warned you. It's disclaimer and warning for a reason. It's not like, read this, you know, and that's what'll happen. It's like, no. I'm warning you what'll happen if you ignore me. If you practice, and I've been trying to say this. the day I risked my life to make sure someone doesn't get fired. That person isn't me. It takes so much honor to do that. Like, you'll see, I'll post, the other video might be live, I'll put up the link, and then this will go up after. So at least it's kind of in order, and you can see I didn't just waste a bunch of time today. I've been working, and I'm patiently waiting, and I'm here in the lobby, right next to, I did exactly what I said I was going to do this morning. I keep posting stuff and saying it. And the person who said they were going to come back and give me business today, and I showed them, if they don't show up, right? It's like I'm naturally endowed something. I'm going to do nothing about it, but I know what it means and what I'm in possession of now. And I even made that public. So there's no me sneakily doing anything at this point. That's gone and over with a long time ago. That's how I got here. And I let go of and emptied myself of that. And I thought that the example of that had shown itself in the past. And perhaps it hasn't. And I'm glad that certain people are having their late in life glory moments, but I'm not supposed to be having a midlife crisis or anything, and I'm not, because I'm being put in a position where that's being forced on me, and I'm getting the opposite. So really, what they're having in that late life glory is of a divine designed nature that they're borderline exploiting, and I'm trying to give them warning, because eventually it'll catch up, and it will come down burning and crashing. And that's the thing, it's designed more to keep boosting, and they just took it away, and mine's super duper rocket ship. It's and so that's why it might seem like I'm moving too fast, but at the same time, I'm the cool cat. How do I handle that? The simplest answer is I'm not making stuff up. How else could I be doing this? And rhyming every bar I say to in a freestyle verse. There's no script. Who's time to write all this shit anyways? And you see, because when I write stuff, it comes out like that. And when I write it, it takes forever. And when I say it, same effect. So it's hard for me, there's so many things I could say, so many places I could go, so many ways I could take it. And I'm trying to make it so at a certain point you'll know that I'm not playing. And it's all good. It's what's great about this is that, to me, this is what's the most fun. And so I just really hope that person that promised they'd show up for me yesterday, because they spent a lot of time with me, and then they made me that promise, and they sealed it with bows and handshakes, and and they said they'd be back today to get the service. So it's just it's okay if it takes them longer, but I went through effort today to show them, like, I'll be prepared and ready for anything, and no matter what circumstances changes. And the thing that's troubling is, you know, the line of deception, and it's just notorious of the girl that was taken advantage of, who's, you know, now emptied of everything she ever had, and I had nothing to do with that. And like, it might not even be who you think it is, but like, these ancestors, they're gathering with me. Like, I am the only one who's safe, even with the entire world against me. So like, if everybody wants to implement it themselves, as taking fault of the criminal nature, like, it's, we're at a point, right? A tipping point where I, no matter what, get what I want. And, you know, people are gonna have to behave themselves. And I've got the time to let this sort itself out in any way it needs to. But like, don't get it twisted. I'm in charge here. And anywhere I go. And like I said, like, I didn't set anybody or anything up to look, you know, to accidentally, by the end of the night, end up the ruler of fucking China. That's fucked up. It really is. And like, even the current, you know, dictator and ruler of China, right? It's not gonna, that's not gonna fly with any of us. It's too convenient, you know. And that's like the thing where it's like, so finally somebody approached me, was nice, said they're gonna come give me service the next day, or come and pay for my service the next day. And then all of a sudden, right, like, the library tells me I can't do what I'm doing, type of thing. And so I just supply my own answer that shouldn't get in the way of anybody or anything. Like, what do you think, I'm flamboyant for life? I'm all flashy with my big purple t-shirt, my justice, my fucking stuff, my loudness. And it's to the effect where, you know, even the library staff came and talked to me, and they're like, I'm making it a point to be seen and heard, and I'm being noticed. In all the right and wrong ways at once. There's like, so everybody's trying to set me up for something that they're not able to set me up for. So it's like, what you're getting at is naturally, what I have put forth is is the only answer that'll work. So if you have the means to work with me on this, that's the means to the end where everybody gets their piece of justice. And so, like, you know, people try to say things like, oh, I owe them a debt, but they knew what they were doing when they gave me what they gave me, in hopes that I would do something I shouldn't, and either get in trouble, or if I didn't, I'd be in a position where I owed them something I'd never be able to pay back, so that I wouldn't have credit. And I'm not dumb enough to fall for any of that. So you can make up your bullshit, but it only discredits you. The same way, you know, the honor of the entire world's largest populated country is at stake here. Because, and I have nothing to do with it. And New Zealand, the entire country of New Zealand is on the line for that. So why they tried to make this all a conflict between New Zealand and America, it just became not America's problem. Or Mexico's either. And Donald Trump just looks like he's abusing his power. And nobody ever like that will ever be put in his position ever again. Because that was the worst decision ever. And I had nothing to do with it, obviously. Think about what I'm saying. Do you know what I'm saying? The entire military personnel in America does. And their ancestors also. They're harder to authenticate and verify your identity with than anybody else on earth also. And I did that alone in the hardest position possible for any human to be able to do that from. So, like for me, things are looking good, and I don't mean there's a lot of things that aren't funny, which is why I'm serious right now, but I'm also very, very happy because of what I'm doing is works so well, and it's like to such a visceral point in the mathematical odds of me being able to use the tools I've been using to get the results I have and then apply them in the manner in which I also have done and show that it works is, well, beyond astronomically impossible from a purely mathematical standpoint. And that's coming from an ancestor who once told me the work I put forth to him at his memorial site was astounding and left him astounded. You know what I'm talking about. You know, I don't write South Park. I fix the heritage of my peoples, of all of them. And that's what I've done. And even they know that I have stepped up and taken this on myself. And naturally become the lead in spiritual matters of what's going on. So it's all good. Everybody trying to set everybody up. And think that they can like get me in the process, and they tried to unite over doing that, and you know, looking like something they're not to make me that so that they could not be at the right moment, and it worked the exact opposite. So I'm just taking the time to be serious and put as much information out there as I can, so that like you have the ability as an individual to do the right thing before to you the wrong thing happens. And that's not my I don't have to have that concern. That's been made clear by nature. Period. Boop. So like, you know, um, you know, let's sit around Justin and play our phones too loud. If we can't talk too loud with a kid, da 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 da. Let's pretend there's something in the world more important than him. Let's try anything. Let's, give him fake honor and respect, knowing that immediately afterwards, someone's going to tell him he can't do that. Because the day before, someone told him, hey, we love you and what you're doing. We got all the resources you need, and come back in this corner over here where it'll be better and fun, and like we know more than you do, and we want to help, except for what? It's like, I appreciate the genuine side of people wanting the right things and the right thing to happen, but I am in a library, a very, very advanced one, let's just say, and it is, and it's got levels, 5 levels of hardcore library shit, and fun, great like staff and like um, government assistance and like charitable contributions and like kids. Yet, this is the simple, like this that I've come up with is the simplest, greatest, straightest, like this is the most fun. This is the best thing to ever happen to this library. I guarantee that. And like, there's no justifying trying to not work with me directly and like test me and like this and that and the other and all the different nonsensical, convoluted, parlor tricking things of look over here when really it's you. And I'm not doing any of that. I've got real magic. And under the right circumstances, it's easy for me to share it. Under the wrong ones, it's fucking impossible for me to. No matter what kind of, techniques are applied. It just simply won't work. And so, like, I'm like sitting here patiently waiting, but I'm trying to like put myself more, make more serious of everything. I just check what time it is. I still got 3 hours, so that's good. I was concerned it was getting later than I thought. So, plenty of time for the right person to show up. But tomorrow I'm not coming in first thing. I'm gonna enjoy what I get to treat myself to, unless the person shows up and I can provide the service that I promised them. And like, the plan is that from now on, I'm gonna sit in a warm place and like because I'm not trying to argue with anybody. I'm not trying to go through any channels, any paperwork. I took on purpose a crayon and a crayon only, so that the offering of peace that I used for the seal, you know, it's actually a military process and exchange. It's not just one of the nature of my divine being or my degree as a doctor, which is real. It's more. It's a contract of honor and service of the greatest trained personnel in modern days on this earth. You guys don't think I'm one of those? Please tell me everybody's been paying attention. If not, well, that's not my fault. Well, a lot of things to a lot of effect, but like, I don't even speak about that because I'm not trying to overflex and scare anyone, and I barely just started to show you my flex. That's real talk. It's real shit. So, here we are. You know, I'm just gonna peacefully, you know, advertise outwardly, but and like, because this isn't like, you know, this is not what a crazy person says or does. And like, I don't look like that either. And like, you know, there's a reference point here, and like, you know, you're not gonna win me over. And like, think about this: like, if the man who approached me yesterday was serious, right, and like really felt the way that he did, like, I look at it from all directions and angles, right? And I'm just gonna use him as an example because he's the person I'm waiting for, and I put a lot of time and effort into ensuring that I wouldn't have problems, right? So I spent a lot of money at the cafe today so that in case I had to do business with anyone there, I was available and like they would be comfortable with the time that I spent. And literally, I was the only person that the library security came and talked to. It was kind of bullshit. Like, I put myself out of the way. I probably spent more money in there as an individual than anybody else so that I wouldn't have a problem. I've seen groups of people in there conducting business that has to do with money, nothing about charity or nonprofits, and only drink coffee. Here I am with this type of thing. And I make myself a paying customer so that they know it's like that's a peace offering. And it's a sign of like my confidence level. It's supposed to speak to the fact that like I'm a person of value, right? So like nobody gives, you know, high-end, you know, medical practitioners or like politicians or anything. Like they go out to nice dinners and stuff every night, and it's like, oh, that's okay. They're, you know, they're high class. They're sophisticated. Like, right? Do you think any of you on this planet are more sophisticated than me? If you think that to yourself, seriously, just to let you know, you're lying to yourself. and making yourself believe in something that absolutely and never will be any part of reality, love, or truth. And so what you're doing is separating yourself from those things and slowly making yourself have a mental disorder, which is going to turn into a full-blown disease. And when that develops far enough down the line, only a medical practitioner as sophisticated as myself, because I am truly divine, will be able to help you overcome that and ever have a chance at getting better. And like, I'm doing my best to help everybody avoid that, but it's not my fault if they're, you know, if to themselves they're not willing to be helpful. And I have to take care of myself to be able to take care of other people. And everybody in in those sophisticated high class positions, will provide that same argument about what they do. But really, are they telling the truth or are they lying? Are they making up stories to, get them to look like that? And then, or gang up on a kid like me just to take what I have? Because they're all the sophistication in class that they build up in the process to eventually put forth a strike to do that. No matter what it looks like, whether they pretend to provide me a place to make my own stand, because they're acting like it's someone else who's been doing that to me, and they're the bad guys, and they're the good guys, and they gave me what I needed. Like, I'm not gonna fall for any of that, and that's why I say, like, so with this guy, right? Maybe he's working with the library so that he looks like, oh, he gives me hope in something that then they try to take away. So I build myself up only because he knows the more he does that, they step in and break it down as much as they can immediately and give me no hope. Like, oh shit, I have nowhere to go. And then he can make up a story like, oh, I went right back there tomorrow and he wasn't there and I was gonna pay him. Except for, that's why I put in all the detail. I showed him the Instagram on my phone. I showed him where to check for updates. I pointed it out on the sign. I read him the disclaimer and the warning. He saw everything. This sign is not difficult to read. It look, my handwriting, if you can't read it, and you're talking to me about it, telling me that I'm a genius, right? Then you're obviously lying. Or like, you need to just tell me, I'm interested, but can you read it to me? And I read him the really important part, and what I asked for is all in that. And I told him about, the charity and all of that. And so it was like, it's one of those things where I've been here for weeks with the sign doing everything, and then just yesterday, immediately after he talks to me, they tell me I can't do what I'm doing. It's just too convenient all the time, and you think that's gonna break me? That's just it's just going to discredit all of you, viscerally. And I did my best to try to repair that for everybody yesterday, or today, and after that happened yesterday. And I'm not going to talk about the timing of when certain people have called me and tried to distract me and just run me amok and test my patience and see if I get mad, and I never even get mad, right? I don't submit to my anger. If I feel something, I know what I'm feeling and why, and I let myself go through what I need to get the straight path always right. And the straight path sometimes requires that you don't, run over a flower or something nice. So the straight path might go, but it's the straightest path to get from place to place without just fucking destroying everything. And sometimes, you know, I even have to practice that. But I know when, where, who, and why, and what's okay with that. Because I'm that divine. And I know that. I'm always right. Do you know what it's like when all the ancestors are like, you're always right. Like, I'm always right. So we all know that I'm always right. And that's something that we've like tried to fight it and go against it and be like, think and work with the concept of that being the opposite, and concluded viscerally, scientifically, through scientific process, that is bullshit. So, like, I did what I did today to be like, don't play, and you can't miss me. And I did a lot of things to show that, and I know all the forces that were also working against me while I did it. So let's just, even like, if let's say, take from the perspective that I'm crazy, you still get to the answer, like, of 50, get rich or die trying. Even when I'm wrong, I'm right, because I could have been right, but it was the way that's respectful, safe, and honorable. Like, where do you think that he got that? He got that from nature and being a primal example of it. However, that movie is a story of a boy who was Irish. It's reminiscent even, and got a lot of elements from St. Patrick. And that's why I also have certain associations with that character and stuff. Like, I am a far, far more naturally primal example of how that works. And there's a ton of evidence to speak to that effect. And I'm just giving you more and more of it. And I'm doing that so that, you can cut the crap. Give what I'm offering a shot. And if I am, like, so wrong and so bad, like, if there's something so horrible about, like it just won't, it'll simply fail itself, and you'll be able to discredit me in that manner. And that would be the simplest way to discredit someone like me if I was, like, bullshit schizophrenic, needed help, or was wrong. But if not, then I'm right. We've got magic here. Like, you've got what you've been waiting for. And what everybody, like, or did everybody just get addicted to that process of patiently waiting and, like, a story that's never, like, being in a dream that you're dreaming of but not living yet? Because I am living the dream right here. And everybody who's pretending and saying that they are is making it up. And they're the ones who are exploiting others to gain enough resources to create that illusion and that delusion within themselves. I can guarantee that as well, and I'll show you. And that's why I'm trying to give you fair warning about where this is going. because I know exactly to the ancestors that were taken advantage of and summoned to help people to get to where they are. They were exploited too, and they're not going to let go down with people who put them there and did so in the most heinous, disgusting manner possible, and just fucked. Trust me, I know. I know all the details. I know the stories they told. I know how they did it. I know what they made up about me, about my family members and others. You know what's fucked? Why some of those cards are so dangerous, because they put the stories in them also. And switch and did a little whoopty-whoo and a dance and a trickety track and a flippity flu and a floppity flap and a jackety jip and a jupity jap and a Jupiter 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 rap and a wickety rockety rickety rap, and they don't know shit and they just can't act and they can't do shit and they just can't rhyme, and I'm the only authentic motherfucker. L'chaim. I see right through it all. Because you know what's funny? All the bullshit they use that they put so much work into, so serious, so sophisticated for, just makes them all sound like my drunk ass friend Zach that I went to school with, who's not really my friend at all. Who's just like got a fucking problem and thinks I don't know what, calls me at the exact wrong time to discredit me because he knows I'll be nice to him, because I got a soft spot in my heart for where his sister and mother come from, because they were the first women in my life that raised me. Or they're like family. And someone knows that and put him in a position to take advantage of me. And all he did was jeopardize their heritage along with his own. And I say, fuck that. I'll flip it on them and the other side, because I know. And that's not me. How could it? My mother wouldn't even let me be raised like that, because that's not even who my mother is. Nor my father. Who do you think you're dealing with? Who do you think you see? I'm not the one in danger here. I am the danger, my peeps. Best believe. I'm the nicest, most charitable person ever. That's the funny thing. There's no convolution with me. And like I said, all that sophisticated mannerisms and bullshit, you all just look like the worst part of the drunk side of Zachary. And just nonsense spewing, fucked up bullshit. And the thing is, Zach is even more sophisticated than that. There's a couple things and conditions he puts forth that are of nature that is divine, where he's like, I'm being put up to this, help. And I hear you, buddy. I do. And this video is about to go up.
after the one I made earlier. My superpowers get stronger and stronger. I am of the divine. You don't even know what I'm capable of. I'm the avatar of the mind. I am the one, and not the one that you exploit, rip off, or mess with at all. And you know that. And for some reason, you try harder to engage in that behavior because you think that I'm wrong. Maybe you were led astray by somebody who purposely led you that way, who's really on my side, and the tables are flipped, and what? You're talking to DJ Princess, Lord Justice, and I'm only Scott Rock here. I mean, seriously, you want me to make it simple? The Scott statue. Look through some of my Instagram pictures. And then I challenge you. Let's see if anybody can take a picture like I got with their shadow doing what mine does. Seriously. I would love to see the, I don't know if that's a lighting effect or trick or what happened. I'm just justice. I just saw this shit, took a snap. I know Scott is with me, and one arm up, one arm down, and my shadows fucking got both my hands raised. And I'm like, nice bit, Scott. How the fuck did you do that? Because that's the ill thing, right? He did. No matter what. No matter what anyone else does. I'm the one who's got that timestamp photo at that spot. And I know, like stuff like that, stuff like when I went to the botanical gardens and I see what's there, and it's like, well, they didn't like just paint that this morning. It's been like that. And then I show up, and then I can just stand and demonstrate in one simple maneuver that, like, I know, like, Hindi with a dance. Like, what? Stuff like that. Like my opening thing at the library yesterday. Like, dude, ironclad. So I was never, I never try to put anybody, like, do anything bad or anything like that. Like, do you all know in real life, like, nobody's been my real friend. I've never been able to tell anybody just straight up my real story of, like, things in my life that happened. So I'll put some of it out there now. Like, what I have here is put together. Perhaps could have happened sooner, but I was too busy surviving because the heritage that was endowed to me to allow me the comfort and the space and the time to naturally be able to do this, what I have now, that was stolen from me and stolen from my family and parents, Like, imagine if like a militarized force, right? Like, like imagine if like you're watching the cartoon The Lion King, right? And like instead of like Scar pulling some sketchy shit, right? Imagine like a military force just shows up and like and like screws over like Simba and just takes him to a zoo. Like Simba would need like a magic wand to get out of there. And to make that movie work at that point. Instead of like a jungle and some friends. Does that make sense yet? Perhaps it will after this. And it's cool. Try what you wish. Wish what you want. What's your wish compared to mine? That ain't jack shit. So it's just one of these things like, are we really gonna just destroy our, the value of all of our own stuff to try to discredit me? Or at what point do we like honestly offer me help and back me up? And who's gonna do that and who's gonna be first? And what lengths are we gonna go to rob ourselves of our own heritage? Because that's not something that me or, most of my family members have ever done. And the ones that have sort of this notorious nature and account of how they do that, how it happens, and the results, and the fact that I put forth the simple fact, the bottom line, that happened to them because they never had that heritage. They made it up. Like, it was something that I made up that they tried to steal from me and used incorrectly. And, like, you guys want to fucking trust the people that did that ruined everything multiple times over and over? And even the original story they made up about that to try to fuck me is the thing that they're using, that they got everybody to use, that's the thing out there that's fucking them completely. What's crazy is how much sense that makes and how simple it is, and if you know what I'm talking about, and you're on that path and with them, you now know you just fucked yourself in a place like your ass. And how do you like that? And the amount of shit that covers for someone who talks the way that I do and doesn't know shit. Doesn't know jack. Simple motherfucker. Well, time to face the facts. Dog tag. The simplest way to identify who I am, given to me by military personnel. Because it's safe for me to say that, first of all, you don't even know who, what, when, where, or why about jack shit. We've established that. And that's not me. The fun part is I'm looking at myself and I'm like, oh, 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 oh. It just proves that I'm this. Because when you watch this video, right, you're not me. Never have been or will be. And that's it. So if you're trying, what do any of you think you're trying to do here? Not sure. But I'd be careful. It's not safe out there if you're not on my side anymore.